Yeah, the last stream kind of fucked up. Yeah. Yeah. So it was at the 2007 concert. It was Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey, in fine form actually, and the comeback tour was called the Endless Wire. So the stadium at Toyota Center, Houston, Texas, was fucking packed, circa 2007. And Zach Starkey, Ringo Starr's son, was the drummer, filling in for the late great irreplaceable Keith Moon. And who was on bass? I forgot who was on bass, but yeah. And so the show was fucking triumphant. All the hits and everything. It's some new experimental shit, but it was pretty good. I think it was from the Lifehouse project, Endless Wire. Some project Pete Townsend was working on, like another solo project or something. Yeah, I guess everybody else could write songs. I guess I'm talking about John Entwistle or I don't know if Roger Daltrey could, but yeah. I guess Pete Townsend was like the brains of the Who, the principal songwriter. Yeah, he was always the brain guy. So the brain guy has to flex his muscles and explore different territories. Right? He's the brains of the group, so essentially. But I'm not saying the other guys didn't make the group. Of course they did. Without them, he would have been fucking probably nowhere. But yeah, I guess it was like the coolest thing about the Who is that Roger Daltrey had almost like he smoked 3 packs of cigarettes. He had this husky voice, really like raw, like powerful voice, like No, it was even heavier than Sammy Hagar's. It was this husky fucking manly voice, right? This fucking manly ass testosterone bombing voice. And then you had, uh, kind of like Pete Townsend, who's very, flamboyantly a tenor. And then you have, of course, John Entwistle, who's kind of more reserved, but he has kind of a higher registry. Ooh, and mixed with the husky voice and everything, and it just created this kind of like unusual, like pretty cool harmony because of the different vocal ranges that were going on there. Kind of like similar to Yes, right? Yes, uh, the lead singer almost sounds like a woman, like he's like alto, or he's like a high tenor. Uh, John Anderson, and then you have Chris Squire, who has this really bassy voice, and together with the other group members, it creates this unusual harmonization, this kind of wild sound to it, because the diversity of the different vocal harmonies, how it all comes together and everything. So yeah, I always like bands with that have like different registries in the way they sing, because I think they always come up with more interesting shit. Or like even in the Beatles, right? It's like Beatles, So you got John Lennon. He sings more angsty type vocals. It's not really necessarily, you know, it's not. It doesn't feel like he was raised by musicians, right? It seemed like he learned it from the streets, or so. It seemed raw. So John Lennon's singing, for the most part, sounded raw and angsty and like kind of aggressive. And then Sir Paul McCartney kind of sounded like a choir boy, really, who got into music. And so Ringo couldn't sing, but it was funny when he would sing, because it was like, "In the town where I was born, lived a man by the sea." It was kind of funny because like he couldn't sing. That's the best. That's why the songs were so entertaining by Ringo. Is that he could sing, but not really. It wasn't the best. Everybody knew it wasn't the best singing in the world. That's why it was kind of novel. And George Harrison's singing, it was serviceable. It was definitely good for the harmonies and the Beatles, and it was okay. I wouldn't say that George Harrison was an awesome singer or anything like that. I'd say. But I don't think everybody in the Beatles was raised by musicians like Sir Paul McCartney. So I think Sir Paul McCartney was raised, his mother and father were both musicians. So he was listening to a lot of music. He was playing a lot of music probably since he was fucking 3 years old. So that's quite an advantage, So if your father gives you a golf club when you're 4 years old, like Tiger Woods' father, probably when you grow up, you're gonna be pretty badass at golf. Not always. I'm just saying, like, if you have piano lessons like Elton John when you're 4 years old, most likely when you grow up, you're gonna be pretty badass at the piano. That's just more or less a given, if it's in proper dosage and instruction. Yeah, I always thought it was funny because have you ever been in, like, some rich people, they get their music on, right? They play the piano, and they're like Vivek Ramaswamy. Sometimes the millionaires, they get it on. Those people with $400 million or more, or less. Sometimes those wealthy people with the mansions, they get their music on. They start learning the classics, and they get training, and they, even from an early age, and they stick with it. And they play they play all the classics. And they keep on going, like Vivek Ramaswamy. I guess he wants to be the governor of Ohio or whatever. But the Indian dude who made his money off, I guess, hedge funds and Wall Street. So, anyways, but like Vivek, but there's kind of like a funny like anti-dichotomy, which is imagine how many wealthy people you could go to their houses and they have a music room and nobody's touched shit. And like the mother and father haven't played one fucking thing in there. Their kids haven't touched it. And they're just like, oh, here's the music room. And you're just like, okay. And you see the pianos and you see the guitars and the basses and shit. And you're like, okay, who? And the drum kit. And you're like, all right. So you guys got the music room. So when do you guys ever play music? They're like, I don't know how to play anything. Yeah. And we have a music room, though. In case you ever want to play some stuff. In case you ever want to play some notes. But we have a music room. Look at it. Look at the keyboards gathering dust. Look at all the guitars gathering dust. Look at all the basses gathering dust. Look at all the fucking... Look at the cello gathering dust over there. We have the music room. I'm like, yeah, there it is. I see it. I don't see anybody ever going in there. But it must be nice to have the music room, though. I guess it's pretty cool. Well, you don't need a lot of discipline to go to the shitter. Because everybody's got to take a shit. So, the shit room is always occupied, right? The shit, the piss in the shower. Yeah, that's the most popular room. Yeah, besides the bedroom, I guess. Sleeping and fucking. Yeah. But the music room is sadly often neglected because we don't need to play music, but we need to shit. Well, some of us don't need to play music, but some do. But most people need to breathe air and take a shit and eat and drink water and stuff. For the most part. What's the rudest thing I've ever done in my friend's house? The rudest thing, I think we had those spicy the Oriental ramen noodles when I was at my friend's house at the doctor's place, and yeah. I went to my friend's room after we had the Oriental spicy ramen noodles. We were like 12 or 13, and I was like, "Hey, Billy." Sorry, man. Those spicy ramen noodles, they got me. I got yellow diarrhea. And the look on his face, right, when he saw the yellow diarrhea. When that dude saw the yellow diarrhea, I thought, oh shit, I'm never going to get invited back here. Because I was like, sorry, dude, I got yellow diarrhea. And he's like, look. He's looking at it there's no smile. He's like, you shit yellow diarrhea in my toilet, dude. So my only excuse was like, oh man, those Oriental ramen noodles, sorry, dude. Yeah, I was pretty nasty. I usually don't drop shits like that in my friend's house, but that time, whew. Oriental ramen. What are you gonna do? It's Oriental ramen. It's not exactly health food, you know. It causes yellow diarrhea sometimes. I mean, that's not racist. That's yellow. I mean, I'm saying it can cause yellow diarrhea. So watch out. I enjoy the spicy Oriental ramen. You know, I like the spicy shit, but occasionally you get the fiery diarrhea. It's not. It's not. It's not what I would choose to do. To do. It's not what I would choose to do at all. Anyways, 5 minutes talking about Oriental ramen and yellow diarrhea. That's the pinnacle of YouTube creation content. I think that's kind of like a level above, a tier above here. Yeah. Sorry, Billy. That was some extra spicy Oriental ramen. It has the blue package on the Oriental ramen. Yeah, sorry about that, dude. I wouldn't have dropped a mustardy diarrhea in your toilet. Yeah. Is that so funny? Yellow diarrhea? It's like really funny, but it's not. It's not. It's funny because it's like not funny, right? That's why I think it's so funny. Like I shouldn't have been laughing at my dad who had cancer. Yeah, my stepdad had cancer. And when I was like 10, I don't know if that's just my defense mechanism. Comedy is just my defense mechanism for heavy shit, psychological defense mechanism. But so my stepdad was dying of cancer 1989, 1990. I guess it was at the tail end of 1989. And then he spilled some water. And I knew I wasn't supposed to be laughing because I knew he was fucking paralyzed and the tumor was eating his back alive. I mean, his spinal cord. So he was paralyzed, so he was crippled, so he's like dropping shit. I knew I wasn't supposed to laugh, but I started laughing this one time. I brought him some water, and he couldn't hold it, and it fucking fell everywhere. And I remember going, like, uncontrollably laughing. I felt kind of guilty about it, because I knew, but I started laughing at this cancer patient, who was crippled, my stepdad, and I knew I shouldn't have been laughing, but I started laughing. I guess I just needed, laugh or something. But it was like, I felt kind of guilty about it. But then, I was like, so I stopped laughing, and I was like, I acted like I was serious, like I played it off. So my stepdad, didn't think I was a fucking psycho or something. Yeah, I guess there's some shit that's not funny, but it's like kind of funny though. Yeah, I mean it's not funny. Somebody's crippled falling down the stairs. Like my old neighbor, it's like we were going to see the Star Trek opera, right? We were seeing the opera. It was like Giacani or something at the Alley Theater, and was it his name Giacani who was doing the Star Trek Into Darkness. He did the music, the soundtrack. And so we were going to see it. And I'm like younger. During that time, I'm like 30. And then my old neighbor, he's like, 80 or something. So I'm like looking at him. And then he's like, ah! And he can't even walk and stuff. But I'm kind of like snickering a little bit. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's not funny. I'm just saying, like, sometimes this shit's a little funny. Come on. When your grandma falls down the stairs, it's kind of funny. No, I'm just joking, guys. All right. Like, there's some shit that's kind of funny. It's like, but it's not funny. But it is funny. So that's the gray area right there. See, something's funny, but it's not funny. Like it shouldn't be funny. It's like nobody should have been laughing, right? Joe Biden falling down the fucking Air Force One stairs or whatever, busting ass on stage. It's not funny, but it's like it is funny though. Busting ass. I mean, that's just fucking hilarious. President Benson from Hot Shots. Hey Betty, are you out there? And then the girl's like, Betty's dead, sir. And he's like, oh. I mean, I know it's like dark. I know it's like black comedy. It's like dark comedy, but it is funny though. I mean, in that particular way. Johnny, you out there? And then they're like, Johnny's dead, sir. Oh yeah. Johnny, why don't you come on up? It's not funny, but it is though. I don't expect, when I get older that people are going to, like younger people are going to have mercy. They're not going to be like, oh, mercy on the old man. Oh, he just has trouble with his leg. He's has a little bit of dementia. I don't expect any mercy from the youth of the future or the people of the future. I really don't expect that, at all. Any kind of sympathy or compassion or, I don't think really this world is on the trajectory of sympathy and compassion for older people or people struggling or people that are not rich. I don't think this is the type of world that is sympathetic or compassionate or empathetic with human beings anymore. I don't think that's the kind of future that we're entering into anymore. So, yeah, sadly, I hate to report that to the universe and to the planet Earth, but that's where we're headed. Yeah, I don't think we're headed to the age of Aquarius or the age of enlightenment. I think we're headed straight. The world of human beings is headed straight to fucking the gates of oblivion and hell and sadness and despair and greed and lust and fear and darkness and peril and crisis. That's where I think the human race is going. I know that's not what people really wanted to hear me say. Yeah. Even I, high of spirit and full of energy and with a lust for life, realize the writing on the wall, which is the future probably is going to be hell before we get to heaven, folks. That's probably the reality of it. So the question is, have people already been through hell already in their lives? And how much more can they stand in the future? It's just going to come down to resilience and faith in the future. And a lot of hard work, tough love, stuff like that. So, as the great poet and artist Seal once said, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. Yeah, I know people wanted to hear it was all going to be rainbows and fairy tales or something. No, not at all. If you live long enough, you know that life isn't a fairy tale. It's real. It's raw. It's tragedy. You can try to construct a great utopia or a dream. It's always going to come crashing down. It's going to be down, so down. Like madness. Like Alice in Chains lead singer Lane Staley. Oh no, it's called no. The band isn't called Madness with the one hit wonder drown or down or whatever. It's called Mad Season. Right, it's called Mad Season with Lane Staley. Down, so down. Yeah, let the down times begin. Let the new days of the down. Let the downness reign. No. But it's not going to be Star Trek where you just, everything's a fantasy. You know, where it's a fairy tale. Everybody's happy and getting along and all that shit. Everybody's just flying through the universe, having an adventure, and everything's honky dory. And all the humanity's problems have been solved by technology. No. That's not a reality. Because that would require humanity to make sacrifices for humanity. So, and as we have seen in this world, people make sacrifices for themselves and their own interests. So they never make sacrifices for the greater good. Never, ever. Hardly ever. Especially these days. So, most of this world is what's the deal? What's in it for me? What do I get? What do we get? It's not what. As I said before, this is a winner-take-all world. Always has been. And a winner-take-all world, forever will it be. Oh, man.